everybody? Welcome back to Small Couch Reviews. It's your boy Sam. And
It's your boy Jovi.
of
Matt Jones.
course, we have the one and the only Matt Jones from Lunch Money Reviews. All right, so you clicked on this video, you know what the title is. We're talking about FX's Shogun. Or maybe it's Hulu's Shogun.
It's FX.
I don't know, but it's okay. FX. All right, cool. Anyway, Shogun. It is. I think we can all agree it was highly anticipated. Production values through the roof, and I'm gonna just spoiler. I love it. I think it lives up to all the hype. But Mr. Matt Jones, I know Jovi was telling me you really wanted to talk about it, bro. So let's start with you, man. Tell us your thoughts. We're only talking episodes 1 through 6 so far. Tell us what you think about it, man. About feudal Japan and all of the colonizer. Well, I guess the white man who came, and everything.
I feel like no show is without its faults and like the things that maybe I would have done differently, but this show gets as close to a show that I not only would want to be made, but the way that it is executed is exactly the way that I would have executed it. When it's almost as though like it was made with like people like me in mind. If you grew up watching old, Eastern inspired films with samurai and just like all of the things that we loved about the way that it was modernized into Western times. If you watched Kill Bill, if you watched, any of those type of movies, it brings all of these things together where you have the deep dialogue, the long conversations, where you're getting all of this backstory, and it's building to this like epic moment that is coming. And the idea of like the Shogun, like it's this tormented hero. It just has every element that you want from a TV show. And I appreciate the fact that it didn't take the easy way out and just make it, a super Western Americanized version, but they try their best to keep it true to, the source material, what inspires the show in itself. So I very much so enjoy it.
So it's funny you say that. It does stick to the source material, which like the book it is based on, but it's actually like based on actual history too, right? And there are so many little details that they add in that is just like it's like you didn't have to do that, but the historical accuracy is just amazing. From the like the little like the cutlery they have or the food they eat, the little references about the times that they're having. Like there's something about they talk about how there was like a dark century before them where they're talking about all the warring stuff. Like it's just I love the little stuff. And what really gets me
taking
about
over
this,
Korea over and over again.
Yeah, talking about their war of Korea. Yeah, exactly. And then and how the Chinese and the Japanese didn't really mess with each other and all that. I really like the story, because this would have been very easy to make this a like a samurai show where it's just a bunch of sword fights and stuff, right? But even though there's violence, that's not really the draw here, man. Like it's really like it's like you said, like the tactics behind it, the manipulations and everything that's going on behind the scenes that is ultimately leading to like what like this huge war between these 5 people who all have this like they're like this claim to be the shogun, the ruler of the land. And I'm really just loving the maneuvering behind the scenes of everybody, and it's amazing. Even though it comes at the detriment of like I one of the main characters, the Anjin, what is his name? John Blackthorn. John Black. Yes. Yeah, him. Even though he's clearly the pawn here.
Yeah,
I'm loving it. Although there's one thing I want to see what you guys think about it. I love how they're like their subtitles, because it's in Japan, so they obviously speak Japanese.
Yeah.
But they're making all the Portuguese people speak English
Right.
instead of Portuguese. Like, I mean, I don't mind it. It's just, it seems like I don't really know if I understand that creative choice, but I just want to know what you thought about it.
I think they're doing that just because of where it's being, played. There's a big chance that they could be like, if you're in Portugal, we're going to have them. It's going to be voiced over in Portuguese, or if you're in Brazil, you're going to watch it in Portuguese. Like wherever you are, I feel like the language would be your language. But since it's here and it was made for Americans, it's like y'all are not going to read subtitles for everybody and for every single thing. We've talked about this before. People don't know how to read here, and people don't want to read here. That's the thing. Like I'm surprised we got a show that is 75% Japanese.
Yeah.
Like we're good. You know what I'm saying? We're fine because we love anime. Like this is easy. I'm sitting there. That's why I got these bad boys on, because I was like, oh well, you're not giving me the subtitles that come with Hulu. You're giving me the yellow subtitles that come with the show. And I don't know whose choice yellow was. And I couldn't see it. So I'm just like, right, it's time to put on the glasses. But no, I really feel like it would be regional. There we go. That's what I was looking for. It would be regional. I don't think that this would be English in every. It would just be for that. This is for us. Yeah. I don't have anything to add to y'all's take on why it's so great either. I think the dialogue, I would say that I'll add that I think the dialogue just is unmatched. This is amazing writing. And that's what I've been enjoying. Like the action scenes are cool, and I have some voice audios of like what I've thought of every single episode, but it was just like the story is keeping me in. Like I watched all 6 episodes within the last 24 hours. I just packed it all in. Yeah, so like I have everything in my head still. So
yeah, before you got on, me and Matt were talking, and I was like, bruh, if I'd watch this week to week, I'd be very upset. Like I'm mad I don't have more to watch now. You know what I mean? Especially
and I just finished the 6th episode before we started.
Yeah.
So
especially after 4. But we can talk about each episode. So let's do that. So it premiered with the first 2.
Yeah.
Which is when John arrives. We meet the council, the Council of Regents, I think is what they call them.
Very
5 men who are
in the beginning.
Yeah.
Very unlikable.
Who was unlikable?
John
Blackthorn.
Yeah.
Oh, really? I feel like he's been the same. I feel like he's been the same. But yeah, so we meet him. He's coming to basically, he's trying to disrupt Portuguese trade with Japan, and he wants England to establish trade with Japan because at this point in time, Portugal, Spain, and England are at war, Catholics versus Protestants. And then the other subline is the Toranaga, one of the 5 council of regents, has been quietly acquiring power in order to make a play for Shogun. And the other 4 are like, oh, no, we onto you, so we're about to try to stop you. And there's this whole strife with them. So let's talk about that, man. So the first episode, we're introduced to all these characters, and I think the second one is when the like those 2 storylines kind of mesh, because that's when John and Toranaga actually meet. So yeah, what you guys think of those 2?
Let me see. I'm just gonna play because I really don't even know what I said. Let me see.
So
my man
was the most intriguing intro to a series I've seen in a very long time. I want more. I want to know more. I want to know what the significance of all of these faces are, and what this man's mission truly is.
So yeah, all right. that's truly what it was. So, it was captivating. Again, and I hate doing this. I always say I hate doing this, always comparing shit to anime. But that's what I got. This felt like a pilot for an anime to be like, we want to make more of this. Here's a sprinkle of every little piece of the story that we're going to give you, now you have to watch 10 episodes to get answers to every single thing that we introduced. Like we saw all of the main characters in the first episode. If you didn't realize, not y'all, but in general, if you didn't realize it, you literally got to see. That's why I said all these faces. You don't show people for no reason. So okay. Oh yeah, I'll go for it.
And I love how the episode, like, it just started basically saying, "Hey, this is the year. This is what's happening in England. This is what's happening in Japan. Here you go." And then, like you said, we're just introduced to all these different characters. And like you said, John, him and his crew, they're just there,
right,
on the ship. I think they got captured. Ship got captured, and he's like,
was they all passed out, and it got to land. He said, "We are on the track. We have white sand. We know we're close.
We hit the Japans. Yeah,
we hit the Japans. And the captain's like, whatever.
The Japan.
Yeah, the Japans. Yeah,
overnight parts from Japan. Overnight cannons to Japan.
Yeah. I actually like John, like the actor who plays him, though. I'm not going front. I like the
only thing I don't like is he looks like he's crying every scene.
He's like a very everyman appearance. Like, he doesn't look like a famous person. He looks he doesn't look like somebody you would see on a red carpet. It's like a believable depiction of somebody in his exact position.
Yep.
And I mean, they talk about, and they hint at the fact that even though Americans, or not even Americans, but just like Western civilization might see the way that Japanese people do things as peculiar, you see very clearly that he is the one that looks like the quote unquote barbarian, right?
Yep.
He's the one that has practices that are unseemly. He doesn't want to bathe.
This man doesn't want to take a shower. I was like, what is wrong with you,
love it. I love to see that it's like, y'all thought that the rest of the world, the ones that conquered the world, thought that the rest of the world was just a whole bunch of savages, but they had practices and civilizations before y'all had things. It just didn't make sense.
One thing I loved was that in those first like 10, 15 minutes of you watching the show, before he even gets off of the boat, they establish this feeling of being on this boat and being from where he's from. So much so that when he first sees the Japanese soldiers like descend into the boat, I got the feeling of like, I know he has never seen anything like them before. Not their clothes, not that, because you think about the time, like they're not able to see what a samurai looks like at that moment where he's from, right? So you just see totally different looking, sounding, dressing people. That must have been, and I got the feeling of like, oh snap, like what have I gotten myself into?
Right.
I thought that was so cool how they situated.
Yeah, man. And I honestly, I gotta say, I'm very shocked at how that he's still alive. Because he was doing things like, samurai are traditionally prideful, and he was doing things that it's like, bro, that would get your head chopped off. Like when they took one of his men, he was sitting there yelling at them. He's like, "Where I come from, I don't do this," and he was all in their face. And I'm like, bro, like I'm very surprised that you are still like standing.
Third or fourth episode, he gets in front of them when they're trying to do their mission to open the
exactly. Yeah.
It's just like, oh, now this is over. This is a little overdone. As like in the book, probably somebody was like, yeah, this is good. They're gonna listen to this white man. No, they're not.
Right.
They're like,
they clearly have no problem cutting people's heads off. So it's like,
right.
It's a whole scene in the sixth episode.
In this first episode, when one of the people tried to approach with like praying for and they just sliced his head in half. When they're walking.
Oh yeah.
I'm like, clearly they don't have any, like they have no problem.
So I kind of want to get to the Japanese part of this too, because there's a part. Remember when we first meet Toranaga? So he's invited to the council, right? Because they're like, you've been gathering power, and we think you're going to use it against us. You have the the heir, like the prince, you have his mother in your castle, and you're holding her hostage. And he's like, nah, he's like, yo,
she's just there.
she just came to see her daughter, I think, because her daughter was pregnant.
Yes.
Yeah, her daughter was pregnant. Her daughter lives in Toranaga's castle. So he was like, yo, she just came to see her. He has plausible deniability, basically.
Yeah.
And then, one of his people back there is like, yo, stop disrespecting my master.
Oh,
and since he stood up and said that man had to kill himself and end his bloodline.
Son.
Like, that was crazy.
Yep.
That was insane. And he just did it. And it's like, yo, that's the punishment just for talking out of line? Wow, okay. That's how I need to show a
says
series.
that, like, he's like, y'all have, so for their culture, it is honor. For him, it's you don't care about life.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I want to talk about that because I think it's episode 5. Something happens where he's like, "Yeah, we'll get to that because that might be my second favorite part of the series." Yeah. My first favorite part of the series, though, it happens I think it's the end of the first episode when John is with the Portuguese sailor, and he says something like, he says something like, I'm here and I'm here to. He said something, I'm paraphrasing, but along the lines of like, oh, these people are just like savages or something, right? And then the Portuguese sailor says, go up and look out there and look at that city. Yeah. And he said, think of what kind of man it would take to rule something like that. Right. And that right there, I was like, all right. Yeah,
right. And then they do the pan over and realize that that castle is nowhere near, the palace is nowhere near the sea level. So like, someone had to build all of that.
Yeah,
and
man.
Like, these are civilizations that did exist. That's to your point earlier. Like, this is based on history. Someone had to build that. Like, and they were doing that without you, Englishmen, without you,
exactly,
without you, Spaniards. They were living their lives, and then y'all gave them guns and was like, "Oh yeah, now we own y'all."
Mm-hmm. Yeah, they think they do. Well, that brings me to episode 2, where the John finally meets Toranaga, and I love their little conversation. You say that again?
I said I want to know I want to know what my episode 2 reaction was.
Oh yeah, go ahead and play it.
All right, let's see.
Episode 2, absolute amazing use of introducing the translator, but continuing the conversation just amongst the Lord and the barbarian. Awesome choice. What the fuck is that behind the curtain? And to end with a great use of light in a very dark space, slow assassin takedowns, perfection. Episode 3.
All right, yeah. So
wait, was
syphilis is behind?
That was a person behind the curtain, bruh.
Yes, it is, but it was a syphilis infested. I'm skipping.
I think he had leprosy, but yeah.
But didn't his cousin have syphilis? That's why he got offended.
I was sitting there and I had to pause the show. I was like, oh. Y'all know I got that big TV upstairs. I was like, what the fuck is
yeah, man.
Because I remember in the first episode, he was behind. Yeah, he had all you could see is the eyes, and then like, boy, if you don't get back behind that curtain, nobody want to see that. But
kill me. He's one of the 5 rulers of Japan, man. He's a big deal.
Yes, okay. He needs to go somewhere. But no,
that's. Oh, go ahead.
The shots, the transition shot where the camera is literally slowly panning to where you no longer see the translator and you just see John talking to
the
Lord.
That's exactly what I wanted to get to, bro. That was amazing.
Yeah,
so good because it was
like it's the. I feel like you're going to go this route too. It's like the transition into showing that they're going to have a relationship.
Yep,
like
exactly.
This is about them two, really, and like how their relationship is going to change the scope of this whole war that's coming.
Because I feel like when they're having that conversation, it's like I think Toranaga really brought him there to, like you said, he wanted to be a pawn. He was like, look, I know that the other regions are like threatened by you because you're a different kind of Christian, right? And I think he really he didn't care whether he lived or died. He just wanted to use him. But in that conversation, like you're saying, like you can see the subtle changes on Toranaga's face when they're talking. It's like they understand each other, even though they're speaking different languages. When he's like, "Why are you like this?" He's like, don't you believe Jesus is God?" And he's like, "What do you do? Like, what do you plan to do in this land?" And all that stuff. And it was so good, especially I think that's when John drew the map of the world and said, "These people think you belong to them," and it's and like I really like that, like you said, because the translator's talking and saying all this, and it's literally just John talking to him and being like, "Bruh, we got something in common. We need to, we need to get together and handle this." I love that. Man.
He's like, "But I'm going to survive. I'm going to find a way to survive." Right. What do you think about that?
He kept saying, "I'm not going to die." And he did not let him. Was this the episode 2? I know he went to jail, and then they saved him, right? Was that all in the same episode?
Jail to bring him, took him out of jail, cut his hair, bathed him, did all that, and then he was in. They brought him to the castle so they could talk to him, so he could meet. And then he was just like, they wanted to sentence him to death.
Because they wanted to kill Toranaga, but they couldn't kill Toranaga until they killed him. Like it's like a political thing. Like they said, we have to vote to kill John before we can vote to kill Toranaga, which is why Toranaga had him there. But then after that whole conversation, it's like Toranaga's like, "Nah, I kind of want this dude to live." So, my bad, Matt. We talking. What you think of that, Jane, bro?
No. I just because honestly, when you're watching it, you get the gist of it, but it's good to hear other people talk it through because sometimes it can get kind of confusing, right? Like you're reading the subtitles. Not to be weird, but like sometimes some people look similar. Like I know that like understanding whose baby was whose and whose daughter was whose, it took me a while to like piece all that together. So understanding how important it was for Toranaga to keep John Blackthorne around was also kind of just like, why aren't they killing him? And you can tell that it was definitely for like a political like chess move, so that you can't really do this until I can, do this here. Y'all can, and I mean, like to your point, that I feel like has been some of the just most enjoyable writing to see unfold because it shows you that while yes, like you said, the show can get violent and it will get violent. You know that that's going to happen. It shows the power, and I mean, it's almost like a subplot at this point because you see even John Blackthorne go through this process of understanding the power of words and understanding the power of like what you say and what you do and how you do it versus just saying and doing anything. It's like, it's really, really important to think strategically about how you're going to approach the situation. And you just see Toranaga just, go through each of these steps, the choice to keep the mother or the mother of the heir behind them, the choice, because even while they're talking, they're beefing, but in the most respectable way. Like it's always like, we have to maintain respect, and it's like almost like, what do you mean I don't like you? I never said that. But then but ultimately say something that indicates I don't trust you, I don't bang with you. And it's like this like very, very fine line. Whereas John Blackthorne comes in screaming at people's face, "We don't do that where we're from." And he's like slowly learning, I'm gonna have to like finesse this. Like I'm gonna have to utilize the same tactics that he's slowly learning, that Miracle is like teaching him. Like
and she says it over and over. You have so much to learn.
Yeah, man. And something I really do like about this show, I was worried he was going to be like, like white Jesus. He was just gonna come and just be better than them at everything.
Savior.
But he really is the one. He don't know nothing, and he is always in danger. He has some skills, but go ahead.
That's the part that when I said that this show is not without faults,
Mm-hmm.
that's the part that I find a little bit irritating, because not to skip too far into the show, but at the end of the 6th episode, he has single-handedly, without any skills, real skills, surpassed so many people in rank.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, we're gonna talk about that.
Yeah, no, we're gonna get there.
We're gonna get there, but I really feel Toranaga's doing something here. He's not just doing this just because.
He's trying to hurt feelings.
He's trying
to get people upset. He's trying to get them to do stupid stuff. Like that whole situation with his son. I don't want to jump too far.
Yeah,
like all this.
I want to say
he's planning.
And this. Yeah, man. So in this episode, I think we get the first taste of it, because this is the episode he introduces like you said, that he wants Mariko, the main female lead. He has her be the translator, and we see that like he's like, kind of what he's doing, because he knows what she wants. Like, she wants to die, and he's like, all right, I'll give that to you. You just have to help me. And like he's doing that while manipulating her husband too. And I feel like he knows there's there's a relationship between her and John.
Yeah. Right.
But like in this episode, this is the one when the assassin comes, and he's like, all right, look, you know what? Everybody, I'm gonna keep watch over the foreigner, put him in my room, let's treat him with respect, right? And then he goes and sleeps in John's room, and when the assassin comes, he kills her. And he's like, they came for him. Right? I put him in my room. They didn't come for me. I'm the Lord, and they came for this foreigner. So that basically proved that he knew that he was like, yeah, he's important. And that's why he's like, all right, yeah, I got to protect this dude. I thought that was genius, man. Like, it's just like the subtle things he does without telling people. It's just like, sometimes that can be annoying. Like, people just keeping things close to their chest. But I genuinely like it, because we are surprised, just like his soldiers are surprised when he just reveals his plan.
Well, they talk about the 3 hearts, so he is the embodiment of the 3 hearts.
Yeah, man. So then I think So then moving on, that Joven, you want to play what you had for the next one, episode 3?
Oh yeah.
So I think this one ends with the episode 2.
Literally ends with his getting slashed, and the assassin getting killed. That's how that one.
Yeah, and then then I think the next one is when they.
That's what I was saying. Like that, the use of light, in that scene was really awesome, because it was really, really, really dark, but the way
candlelight,
the candlelit, and like the way the rooms are lit on the normal and the different scenes, you just saw just enough. And I was not expecting. I mean, later episodes, you see freaking Rambo bodies fly everywhere.
But real talk, the assassin, that woman, when they said she had been there for like 10 years or something, I was like, bruh, I got to give her flowers, because she was plotting, man. And she went through that joint, like you talking about Rambo, she went through that joint and stabbed up everybody. She killed them one home. I was like, God,
full-time job.
Can we jump to episode 4?
All right, hold on.
Oh, you were still gonna play it? Okay,
I will play episode 3, but I don't think this one wasn't.
So far, about a quarter way through, light in a very dark space.
All right, this is still episode
slow
2.
Assassin takedowns, perfection. Episode 3, so far, about a quarter way through, has an amazing soundtrack that just keeps you feeling like you're in the moment of suspense or excitement. Just A1, once again.
Yeah, episode 3. My bad.
Literally.
Hold on. Okay.
Because we can go to episode 3. I think all that happens is John, like, like I think Matt, you were saying, that's when you learn like they vote. They're like, all right, let's vote to impeach Toranaga and kill him. Then the other two are like, nah, our Portuguese friends want this Protestant dead. And it's like the other dude, like at first, because it seems simple. It's like you feel like he'd just be like, all right, whatever, kill him. Then let's kill Toranaga.
Right.
But like I think Toranaga knew that this dude like has pride. He's like, no, I'm not gonna do what you want that easily. Right. So you get that, and then you find out that Toranaga's like his vassal has been betraying him, and he knows that his vassal has been betraying him. But yeah, this chain is just I think the highlight of this episode was the end when they had to escape the city and on the boat.
Yes. And then like I didn't even say anything about that because I was like, all right, cool. This is what I expect from this show. Like I knew we were gonna get that kind of scene. Everybody running down, you seeing them go through classic again, anime. Everyone running through the streets of a city. Like I just knew we were gonna get that, so I didn't even.
That whole scene from Toranaga sneaking out, John screaming to protect him and not getting beheaded, like he talks about, and then like you said, going through the city, cutting through stuff, getting on a boat, and then maneuvering their way. Like I think this was the episode where John kind of shined the most, in my opinion, even more than the episode we're about to talk about the cannons, because this is one where like he kept saying, "I'm not gonna die here, bruh," and like this one, they literally left him to die, and he was like, "No."
Nope.
I think he literally said like, "Nah, fuck this," and he grabbed the train.
How is this the other captain of the boat? He's just like, my boy Yuji, he just goes up to him. He's like, get them to start rowing.
Yeah, like, how do you understand him? That's weird, bro. He was just like, whoa, and it's like, how are you commanding him right now?
Like, and then he goes downstairs. He's telling y'all to row faster.
Yeah, he's telling y'all to go faster.
Yuji?
How do you know
that? How you know?
Yes, man.
Some things are just body language, man. Like
he was like, go fast. Yeah. That I think that was really cool, man. The whole
that
and
episode,
then
when escaping was episode 3, right?
Escaping.
Yeah, that was episode 3 when they were escaping, and that's when it ended with Toranaga and John racing each other, and that's when they you start to see they're actually friends. Yeah. Like they're becoming closer.
I'm waiting for the episode because episode 4 I feel like is
Well, so I literally only have one thing to say, and I'll play it.
They ended episode 4 with literally a bingo.
Literally.
Yo, that's what I was saying. If I watched this week to week, episode 4, I'd have been like, nah, bro. Even though his son is an idiot, it ended great. But Matt, go ahead.
We know that this was all planned. We know now.
Let's back up to the end of episode 3, moving into episode 4.
Okay.
Miriko's husband.
Oh yeah.
That was so fire, bro. Them escaping the town, him deciding to save them, and then him like all of these little small moments of like choices that I felt like he got redemption in that one moment for me. When he
because he was really pissing me off. He was not treating her right.
He's a terrible at his core, right?
Terrible husband, but great warrior. Yeah.
Right. So, But you said something very, 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 very potent. That assassin was there for 10 years. 10 years. I look at the way that end of the episode 3 unfolded for him, and the way that he somehow miraculously, not skipping too far ahead, but somehow miraculously he reemerges.
He survives.
Oh yeah.
And then not skipping too far.
I don't trust that guy, bro.
Not skipping too far.
When they asked him about it, he didn't want to answer.
He didn't want to answer because that's not what warriors do.
Seems like a tortured seems like a tortured soul. Like he has some.
Yeah, that's true, man. Because he literally went back and fought like 100 people.
Everybody else, they be talking about their wars all the time. You remember when we, fighting? They say little things about the wars they've been in, and like if he really wanted to, show his, I'm a big man. I'm gonna tell you.
They've been trying to get Blackthorn to talk about his wars since he got there. They obviously like hearing about that. So it's like, yeah. So I just didn't want to skip. I didn't want to go too far ahead without recognizing.
I'm glad you did bring that up.
How awesome that scene was, where he dropped to one knee and talked about. Like that was an awesome scene.
Yeah.
Did you notice though? All those people were literally like right behind him, and they weren't like. I don't understand why they didn't just kill him. Like they were literally standing there watching this man bow to his master, while John still being like, "Bro, we can go back and save him. Let's go back and save him." Like if they had gone back, were they just going to just stay? Like all those people did not just walk down the steps, yo.
I feel like it's like a thing of honor. Once they realized that they had him, it's like let's give him the opportunity to like give his final like goodbyes to his wife and his master. But then after that, it was on like
but he ran past them and it was like and it was like I'm backing up and you just didn't see it. It's like how you let him get past you?
Man. Way that unfolded.
And then he doesn't like John, so I'm pretty sure he's gonna do something stupid to make sure that he fails.
Oh, he did. Well, he did. He already did. But so episode 4, I think this is where we start to see that Toranaga starts like giving John more responsibility. Yeah. He's like, I want you to teach us, your warfaring ways. And to John's credit, again, he's like, bruh, I'm not a warrior. All I do is sail. He's like, I sail. Right. And they're not listening. And also to his credit, this man has some sort of like, he's like, yo, where are my men? He's like, I want my men back. He asks about them every episode.
He does.
That motherfucker's dead. Bro, they're dead.
Nah, he said he moved him. He said he moved him to Edo, man.
He said he moved.
If they didn't kill John, maybe they didn't kill him.
Why would you keep? What, it was about 14 of them?
But why did they?
There was a lot of them.
Yeah. Why would you keep?
But John, he's not the captain. He don't got no special skills. Why keep him alive?
He's a sailor. He's a pilot. So
he's a pilot, but they don't even need him to pilot a boat.
I don't know, man.
The
captain was dead, right? In his quarters.
I think he like right before. Before he
still in his quarters because they can't get in.
He committed suicide because you hear the gun go off right after he leaves.
But yeah, man, they set up John. They set him up in a house. They give him his housekeeper. That poor little girl who lost her husband and her son and is somehow struggling. They give him Mariko to translate. They give him a lot, man.
Beautiful.
Gave him a pheasant to sit outside.
The layering of those characters is beautiful. It gives every character an opportunity to shine because she gives an acting performance that is heartbreaking, bro. Like you really believe her when they finally request of her to be his, I think it's consort.
Yeah.
She protests in the most honest way, bro. Like, and it's just like, I would be devastated.
I just lost my husband and my son, and you want me to lay up with this stinky barbarian that just came and is taking over. It's just no one would be like, all right. But she's doing it with honor.
She is. And what's really like again, I maybe I actually do like John and the way he is. You knew he wasn't gonna do anything to that little girl, and he kept saying like, "Yo," he even said, "This is messed up. This little girl, like, why are you even doing this?" And that's the episode when they talk about the fence, where it's like, I show something, but don't think just because I'm polite, I'm not angry inside. That's what Mariko is telling him, and that's a custom where he's like, I think later he's like, "Yo, that's just dumb. Like." You all shouldn't. You shouldn't be this way. And I'm screaming it myself. I'm like, yo, Y'all should not just accept these things that are happening to you.
Just think about
But
all the cultures that are still to this day relevant to what we're seeing right now. How well-mannered Japanese people are still. And like this is a thing this is their culture. Like you're not supposed to act like John. And if you do and you're out here wild and like you're gonna get looked down upon. So like this is I love it. The accuracy of the culture.
Yeah, man. I think so there was a lot that happened in this one. That's the one where, he experiences his first little baby earthquake. I think this is where he hooks up with Mariko too at the end.
Yes.
Yes. And then he's training his troops. Toranaga he went to go get his army, and the dude he left in charge is still basically playing both sides, which Toranaga knows again.
He's known from the jump. He's probably known for forever.
I'm not gonna lie, man. I like this dude's character because you can tell that he is conflicted.
Yeah.
He's legitimately conflicted because he knows that on a good day, he's gonna die if he sides with either of them.
Yeah.
And you know what's cool about him? He was ready to die in the first episode, remember? He was going to kill himself.
That's what I was like. I bang with his, like, because even with him being the way that he is, you can tell that honestly, his allegiance really does lie with Toranaga, but he's just wants to stay alive. And he's just trying to figure out.
I don't know.
You don't think so?
I think his allegiance lies with staying alive. Or his allegiance lies with like.
This is the thing. He knows that being with Toranaga is going to keep him alive in a way where he can at least do the right thing. If he wanted to just stay alive, he would have just gone with the other from the get-go. He would have just sold him out a while ago, did what he had to do, and been done with it. But I feel like he's legitimately torn.
Yeah, but he also mentioned he doesn't want like to be that important. He said, I just want this land and to run it, and that's it. But then, he does stuff like him and his... I hate his nephew so much. His nephew's the one who tormented John. I hate him. And he's searching for this spy. I hate his nephew. And his nephew's the one who manipulated Toranaga's son into doing the end of episode 4.
I love the detail at the end of that where... I keep forgetting his name, but the person we were just talking about that's playing both sides.
Oh, Yabu Shige, I think is his name. Yabu Shige.
He's like, no, he's like telling, like in the middle of this whole thing happening, he's like yelling to Toranaga's son, no. And you see the nephew in the back with this like cynical grin.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, yo, the details are so fire, bro.
So here's the thing though. I don't get what the nephew was doing there. The nephew said, and I knew the nephew wanted the son to basically kill Toranaga's enemies who had come to visit. Like they had come to visit and be like, yo, lay down your arms or whatever, like and surrender. And I don't get why the nephew, because the nephew had to know that was a declaration of war. But it's a war they're not going to win. So I don't understand what he was doing. How is that helping? What does he want?
Take his land too.
Because he seems to, because he told his uncle, I know a way where we can fix this, but this doesn't seem like it's helping them at all. Unless I'm missing something. I don't really see it.
Well, this is the thing. It does, though.
Because they're on the offense. Yeah, they're on the defense now.
Right. We see that play out even in it's either episode 5 or 6, where Toranaga kind of throws him for the okie doke. Here he is thinking that Toranaga is going to condemn the nephew. He promotes the nephew on the opposite because he's like, "Oh yeah, no, what do you mean? Thank him for me."
Yeah, but I don't think the nephew knew that was going to happen. Now I feel like the nephew thought he was helping Toranaga's enemies that way.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? Yeah, and I don't understand what he was thinking. I don't understand that logic.
Yeah, I mean, I definitely get it, but from Toranaga's perspective, he at least claimed that now they're not on the defensive anymore.
Oh,
yeah. So, but so we could get to that episode, but that ending when his son, the dudes walk up And his Toranaga's son is like, oh yeah, we got a demonstration for you. And John Blackthorne and Mariko, you know, fresh from hooking up, they're looking at each other like, yo, what is going on? This is not what we showed him. My man draws out his sword, and then you just hear boom, and a horse explodes on the screen, yo. That shit was crazy. I was like, what is happening? And how lucky, the accuracy, like how lucky were they? Yo, they just kept shooting and shooting and shooting. And then when all the samurai were on the ground, his son was like, oh yeah, y'all ain't doing nothing. He went and just beheaded them and killed them all.
Yeah.
Gangsta.
No, that was you know, it showed that John literally, it's like he is again the pilot. He knows how to shoot cannons on the water. And he's like, I know I can teach y'all to be that accurate. So it's like it was a demonstration. It wasn't
man. That train was wild. And then literally, I think Mariko, the last thing she says was, "This is war."
Yeah,
like yeah.
That joint just zoomed in on her.
Bruh. So then, which goes into episode 5. Like I think that starts with her husband coming back. You know, right after she had finally started hooking up with John.
Very
crazy.
Very awkward.
Yeah, he comes back with Toranaga, and Toranaga is pissed. He's like, "You idiot." He's like, "Do you not see that you were manipulated by Yabushuge and the nephew? Like, you're not like." He's like, "I know you're not smart enough to actually attack them by yourself."
Nope.
It is just like, I mean, honestly, as I'm talking about it, it seems like Toranaga might be so smart that if he loses, I'm not going to believe it. Like, I'm serious.
It's impossible. Let's see what
he just seems to know so much.
He has chess moves on chess moves on chess moves.
He's literally playing chess.
It is so to the point. I mean, even to the end of Mariko. Like in the, I mean, I don't want to jump too far in the future.
We're almost to 6. Yeah. You're almost
you
to the
see this relationship with them finally coming to a front where you understand the relationship that they have. You understand the part that he played and the reason why she's looked the way that she is, and him trying to.
That's this episode. We could talk about that. That's episode 5 when they discussed that.
Episode 5?
No, 6.
Yeah, that's episode 6.
Yeah, it's 6 when
we finally get the flashbacks and we get like all of the.
Oh no, 6 is the flashbacks, but she explains. Remember at dinner, she explains why she is.
Right, but we don't get that. It was Toranaga that conspired.
And Toranaga literally says, "Yeah, you know, your dad had plans for you."
Right. And that other people believe that Toranaga conspired with her dad to do these things. That's why they have an animosity.
Oh, okay, yeah. All right, we can get there. Joey, play episode 5. This is when what's her name comes, the queen.
Yeah.
Which fire storyteller, man.
Let me see. Let me go back just a little bit.
Just shows how men are gonna men, and if a man's gonna try to show you that he can outdrink you, you're gonna try to outdrink him. Pretty cool for a period piece. Oh, he hit the post both times. He hit the post both times. What's he gonna do? What's he gonna do to this real warrior? Man, just getting good. Once he finds out he has sex with his wife, it's over. Not gonna hold you.
I think he knows.
Somebody picking up a rock, some nice gravel around it.
He only even likes
it. Yeah. So it's.
This might have been my favorite episode, honestly. Episode 5.
Nah, it was good. So this episode 5 is earthquake, right?
The earthquake got the idea when he saves him and gets promoted again.
Again. You got the husband moving in. You got the drinking scene. You got him hitting the post.
Why would he? Why on earth would he ever believe that he could outdrink that white man?
They don't know.
I don't know. So here's the thing, y'all.
They don't know what English
So,
means. They know Spaniards and they know the Portuguese. They don't know English, just like the English don't know the Japanese. So we know historically English, Irish. They drink. They're going to drink. That's just part of their culture. They're like, oh, you're a Christian. You're a Christian. You're a Christian. You're just like the Portuguese. That's what they're looking at him. They're not looking at him as something else. So he's like, well, he's probably drunk with, well, probably not if he's a samurai. You know, he's just probably only had the drinks with other samurai, other Japanese. So he didn't think. I knew for a fact that white man was going to outdrink him, even though he hasn't been drinking.
Yo, so the whole thing, I like this for a lot of reasons. One, because we learned what Mariko finally wants, and we learned like her husband. So I kind of actually feel for him a little bit, despite a little bit. I don't excuse anything he did, but so he comes. No, look, he comes. He has to move into this dude's house. He's like, yo, I'm living with this dude who's been promoted so high so quickly, and it's like I have to live in. I'm a guest in this dude's house, and I'm a samurai. That's one. Now he's very rude at dinner, right? But then you hear the story at dinner when oh no, so sorry. Let me back up. They're eating. He's making fun of the way John eats, like which is again just ridiculous. And then that's when they have their drinking competition because John is like, "Oh, you making fun of the way I eat? I'll make fun of the way you drink." And then they drink sake, and then this man shoots 2 bows past his wife's face, which seriously, Mariko is just insane. Like I like. She just wants to die. she does not move. So she does. So then, right after that, that's when John is like, "Bro, you just shot 2 arrows. You could have killed your wife." And he's like, "I don't like that. I don't like the way you treat people. You should treat your wife with more respect, even though she's your property, like they are in my country." And that's when we learn Mariko's story,
definitely
right? And he's like, "I should treat her with respect. Do you know what she is?"
Right.
And when you learn about her family and how her father killed the previous ruler, and then because of that, he was put to death along with her entire family. And the only reason she was spared is because she was married to this samurai. It's like, if I'm the samurai, right, and then she's like, it's an injustice. I should have died with my family, right? I should be dead along with my father and my sisters and all that and all that. And if I'm the samurai, you can understand why he's pissed. He's like, I saved your life, and every single year you ask me if you can die. Like what does that mean? Like seriously, y'all are both married. If your wife every single year after all this time you were married is like, yo, kill me. It's like, bro, really? Really?
Because he does say it. He says it after all this time. No, he's like, divorce her in episode 6. Right. And he's like, all this time? Like, no.
No, yeah. So it's like, I mean, like, he's, again, I'm not excusing what he does in the episode because we're going to get that later, but it's just like, bruh, all this time we've been married. We have a son together, and you keep saying you want to kill me, or you want me to kill you. And it's just like, I'd be pissed too, man. I'd be pissed too.
Wait, they have a son together?
Yeah.
Yeah. You don't remember when they're leaving, he comes, like, the samurai comes, her husband's like, boy, if you don't get your ass over there.
Yes.
Yeah. And remember when she first met him, he was like, does he really have blue eyes? And she was like, imagine they're blue like the sky or something like that. Yeah.
And he was like chuckling.
That was
he's
another
like,
thing I wanted to mention.
Yeah.
It's so cool that these shows come out in the same year. This show and the Blue Eye Samurai.
Oh yeah,
it's really, really cool.
Yeah,
because it shows like the Western inspiration with bringing the guns over and doing all of this stuff.
It's crazy.
I thought that was really interesting.
I just got goosebumps. Yeah, no, because it's like you said, these people have never seen an English man. Literally, you've never seen an Englishman. You're like, what the heck is that? Why he look like? Why he smell like that?
And even more, I mean, how much more even for the Englishmen to come over there and be like, yo, these people, the way their military works, the way that they navigate the honor structure, like
John's going through it because he's like,
yeah,
he doesn't understand any of it.
He doesn't.
Bro, that's why I like this episode so much. So this is the episode where he has a pheasant that he's hanging out, and he's hanging it out to basically, I guess, he wants it to rot or something. I forget. He's gonna cook it eventually.
He wants it to dry out. Yeah. And he also makes that nasty ass soup the last episode.
I was gonna say that. Yeah. So like, but the Japanese are like, bro, this train is gonna rot. It's gonna stink. It's gonna disrupt the village. And he's like, no, it's just a couple of days. It'll be good. Then that night he cooks that stew and tries to feed it to them, and the Japanese are like, nah, we have refined palates, bro. But anyway, so there are two things I really liked in this episode about John, because this is the episode where John, like, despite how he feels about Mariko and everything he's learning and how he's learning their customs, he made friends with that gardener. The gardener that they're like, don't even give him an honorific. He's just not. He's like nothing. It's not proper. He made friends with him. They talk. He loves the way the country looks. It's beautiful. But when Toto, when he beat his wife in the middle of the night, and he went and he saw Mariko, he saw his woman, my man lost it. He was like, he grabbed his gun and was like, look at me. I think he called him his name. He called him like the name that he's not supposed to call him.
Yeah.
And he said, look at me. And he was like, fight me right now.
I hate that this dude just talks to them in English, though, or Portuguese.
Yeah.
It's like, Ryan, they don't know what you're saying.
He understood. He was like, I disrespected your house. And he knelt at him. And like that right there, as angry as John was right there, he was like, you're blaming this on alcohol? He's like, nah, I don't believe it. I thought he was going to kill him, yo. Yeah, he was screaming, bro. So that reaction, I think, led into when the gardener ultimately was killed because
he's an idiot.
He touched the pheasant.
Die. You shall die.
Yeah. Because but the thing about it, he's just saying like, yo, don't touch. He's like, don't touch it, right? He's just saying, I want it to dry up. So he says like, if touch, die. And then they actually killed him. Yo, when he came back, his face when he found out that his gardener was dead, that's when he was like, yeah, I'm done with this. He was like, I'm done with this country. He was like, what is wrong with all of you? Yeah. I'm done with you. And like the husband had beat his wife. Mariko had told him. Oh, my bad. Mariko had told him like, we can't do this anymore. I'm just your translator. We're not going to share any more words. Yeah. And then they killed his gardener. He's like, nah, I'm out. Yeah. And I don't blame him, bro.
But it was but this is where the beauty of the writing comes in, because they so beautifully depict Mariko's perspective, and this like it mirrors the perspective of all of the townspeople, where they explain like all we do is live and die. We can't control anything else past that. So if all we do is live and die, the only thing that we can control is the honor that we have based on the things that we say and do. That's all we have. Like living and dying is not the important part, because tomorrow, the same way that our houses are built to go down and come back up, the same way that we expect earthquakes and tsunamis and all that, dying is a part of life. Like we're not even concerned with that. But the thing that we can control is whether or not we abide by the rules, structures, and honor that reside in our public system. Yeah. And that is what we find important. Like, you say something, those words have impact. Those words
meaning. Your words
right, but again, to his point, that's crazy. He said like right before Mariko says we can't we can't be together anymore. He says like, yo, look at this. You look at what you're doing. You're talking about because she says something like, I hate my husband, but I'm never going to show him that I hate him. Yeah, he says he gets nothing from me, not even my hatred. And then he says, look at what you're doing. You want to die for your father, and you're going to live in anguish for your husband. When are you going to live for you? And she's like, all you think about is freedom. And by doing that, you're stuck in a prison, which blew my mind. But
that was fire.
You're right, man. The lines are great, bro. Like this, the way they say things, and it's like
I was like, is the book have these one-liners? Like
I don't know. But John is sitting there like, this is crazy. This is crazy. And I'm sitting there like, this is crazy. But to them, they're like, nah, this is just how it is. There's no use dwelling on anything. And when he says how, like, there's a point when she says that and he says, how can you say that? I swear to you, I said, how can you say that at the exact same time as John? I was like, how you say that? Like that, man. It's their culture and it's how they live. And but it's crazy, man. And I think that's even when Toranaga is talking to John, he's like, you're being a baby. And I'm like, nah, man, Toranaga, you my man, but he ain't being a baby, bruh. Y'all killing people off of some dumb stuff. Like, it's crazy.
He's like, I don't have time for this.
But
that's my rant.
It's just a difference in perspective. I don't know if it's because one could argue that you're being a baby by saying touch pheasant die. Like that's you being a baby. You're not taking your words seriously enough to think them through and to be intentional about your actions. You can yell in people's face and you can actions have consequences. Like you are a baby because you are not. Look, if you say touch pheasant die, somebody touch pheasant, and they die. And then you're gonna sit and cry about it later. You are being the baby, sir. It's like it's a difference in perspective, and I appreciate the show's ability to create this. Like
that's true. But even think about how they said it. They said, okay, whoever touches it, we have to kill him. So they said, oh, Mariko's indifference, because I know she has emotion, but her indifference to this whole situation of the gardener dying, that just threw me. She was like, well, I mean, it was a good way for him to go. And she said that so sincerely. She was like, I mean, he couldn't have asked for a better way to go. And I'm like, yo, you just killed him and you're just saying, it was a good way? That's wild.
She did say that.
Well, she wants to go. That's why. She's ready. She was like, I wish it was me.
I think that they have a very peculiar relationship with death. And the way that their land is situated, natural disasters are situated, they are just used to loss on a level that Western civilization, we cannot at all understand that.
Right.
Yeah, man.
But no,
so I think the only other go ahead, Joey.
That was like the end of this episode when him picking the rock up and readjusting it after the earthquake, and like because that's what his friend the gardener did.
Yeah, that's what he did.
Was brutally murdered because of a freaking pheasant that he didn't even get to eat, that no one was going to eat.
He said like, it means nothing to me.
Even that is so potent because without this rock, all this garden is growth. And it's emphasizing even the dead, stagnant thing that does not move, that does not live, is important. It has beauty in this space. And so it's like you can't appreciate life if you do not have this dead, stagnant thing.
Right.
So
that joint, I just said like that joint hit.
I never really thought about these things.
How does a rock?
Yeah, man.
A rock just made me feel something.
Nah, so that joint really. When he died, that joint really got me, bro. Like I was like, because like John was legit upset, and I was upset for him. But I got two more things, and we can move to episode 6. Just real quick, something I think we talked about earlier about how they were talking, like sometimes they talk in Portuguese and you're like, you don't know what you're saying. This episode, when Mariko was telling her story and John was like, look, it was Mariko, it was the girl whose name I forget right now, but his consort and then her and Mariko's husband. He's like, those two don't understand what we're saying, just make up anything. Fuji. Yes, that's her name. Yes, Fuji, Toda, and Mariko, and then it was John. And John is telling Mariko, look, make up anything. We're speaking Portuguese. You can say whatever you want.
Yeah.
But she's telling her story about how her father was killed and how she didn't get to die. Yeah. They go to Fuji's face. And even though Mariko is speaking Portuguese, you can tell Fuji knows exactly what's going on. So I think that's when you start to see that they can start like reading each other. Maybe Fuji's picking up on Portuguese somewhat. Because she was legit in tears while the girl was talking. And I was like, yo, That's a
she
wild
probably
story.
recognized like the names that were being said, right? Like she
how
probably
and
recognized
her inflection, her voice.
Yeah,
and
she knew that she was becoming more emotional while she was talking about it
because she knows her story. That's the
homie.
Man.
Bro, we didn't even talk about the swords. Like, it's just like the writing is like it's so layered that there are so many things that make you care.
Go ahead and talk about him, bro.
Him receiving these swords from Fuji, right?
Her dead husband's swords.
Her dead husband's swords.
No. Her father's
swords. Her father's swords.
Her father's. It was her father's,
right?
Yeah.
And the whole town knows that the swords were bought from a drunken man. Just to give her father some sense of honor because nobody really respected her father. And the way
he died a coward. That's what they said.
He died a coward, right? And it's like the way that they're like, we all know, but no one would ever say anything to
Fuji,
to make foul the stench of these swords, right? And it's like so crazy that at the end of the 5th episode, where the earth is at the 4th episode.
That's the 5th when the earthquake happens.
Yeah, 5th episode.
Earthquake. And he offers the swords to Toranaga.
Yeah.
After he loses,
Toranaga just laughs and he's like,
he laughs because everybody knows.
Yeah,
but at the same time, he realizes, oh snap! Like
he knows his.
But at the same time, like this is actually a very, very thoughtful gesture.
Yeah.
And I should respect this because he now understands what this means. For me to walk with no swords is a big deal. You are a barbarian who has swords, but for you to offer me your swords, it's a very, very respectful thing to do. So it was just, I mean, man, the writing is crazy as a show, man.
I can't wait to see Fuji because when she gave him the swords, he was like, "Thank you," and then he gave her his gun. I can't wait for her to unload that on somebody.
He gave the gun first. Yeah,
I don't know if he gave him back the same ones, but he has new swords now.
They're black.
He has new swords now, but I just said I want Fuji to unload that gun on somebody. I was hoping she was going to shoot the nephew. I can't wait for that because she looks like she's ready, man.
She's going to. She's going to.
Yeah, man.
You don't foreshadow something like that for no
reason. Man. I feel like but so the other thing I want to say before we can move on to the last episode that's out. I think we said John's fed up. I feel like he really just wants to go home. I think he says it again in the next episode. But this is the episode when we meet the heir's mother, like the queen, and she is as young as Mariko. I thought she was going to be old, and as soon as she shows up, like the show changes. Like there's like an aura change, bro. Right, and like even the guy who's leading the regents, he's like, "Welcome back. We're gonna get rid of Toranaga soon." And she's like, "What do you mean soon? Why haven't you got rid of him yet? Can't you see that he's smarter than all of you? Can't you see he's playing you?" And then she literally just says, "From now on, all of you answer to me."
Yeah,
like she just walked in the room and said that. That is
they do, and they're upset. Yeah. They're old men in the corner. Why we gotta answer to her?
And what's crazy, we could get into this in the next episode. When you see where she came from, the fact that she can do that is all the more. It's impressive is the only word I can think of because she should not have been able to just walk in and basically instill the level of fear and respect she did, man. And she clearly hates Toranaga for some reason, but. We can move on to the last episode.
It's not for some reason, right? It's not for some reason. We know why she hates Toranaga.
Do? Oh, all right. Yes. Why does she hate him?
She hates him because she believes that he conspired with Shorty's father to kill her dad. That is the
her father was the old ruler who Mariko's dad killed. Yes, that is true. The cruel man.
Right. What happens is Mariko goes and lives with this family after being stripped of her name, all of these things, stripped of all of the stuff, goes and lives with this family, stays with this family, becomes very close with these people. And that's what's making this like meeting going to be so epic whenever Mariko finally meets this girl.
Because they asked her, like, do you remember her?
They grew up as sisters.
Yeah, it was like, do you remember? Like, I haven't seen her.
Well, I don't think it was. They grew up together, but I don't think it was after her father died, was it?
No. Let me clarify. So they grew up together. They grew up close, right? They grew up as friends. Like,
yeah, you see them train together too.
They were training
right?
together.
Yeah.
The whole 9 yards. In this whole situation, you see this tension between her father and Maruko's father.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
And you see him wilding out, cutting off people's heads in the square, doing all of this stuff.
Yep.
You see Toranaga.
Yeah.
You see Toranaga holding back Maruko's father, like, don't do it yet. Don't do it yet.
Yeah.
Right? Like, don't, this is wrong, but we can't move yet.
He's the ruler of Japan. He can do whatever he wants.
Right. Mm-hmm. Eventually, her father kills that guy who is this girl's father. So now the girl, I don't remember her name, but
her name is Ochi. I think it's Ochiba something.
Scary.
Something Ochi something.
Scary girl.
Scary girl.
She is scary. Like,
she believes that Toranaga. She has a vendetta against Toranaga because she believes that Toranaga and Maruko's father conspired to kill her dad.
Her dad was mad evil, though, bro.
Yes, he was. Yes. Apple don't fall too far from the tree, apparently.
Clearly.
That's true. Like, she, seriously, when she speaks, and this is what I love about the show. The casting was amazing. When she speaks, do you guys notice she never raises her voice? Ever. She keeps the same tone, but somehow, some way,
it's just scary.
She is always terrifying. Like the look in her eyes, look in her face. Even when she goes to recruit a new regent so they can finally vote, she's just like always. She's always thinking. She's always purposeful in what she's saying.
Yes. Javon, what am I reminded? For some reason, she reminds me of a witch. Like it's a witch from some old movie or show.
She reminds me of Princess. What's the name from Avatar?
Is that it? I don't think that's
Firebender.
It's a real.
I don't know. She colder than her.
Where it's like she talks like in the same way, and it's a witch.
It's a witch.
I don't know, but that's what I'm reminded of. Like people in the comments, please let us know. Like because I feel like there is like an older movie that's like a kung fu movie, and a witch talks just. Matter of fact, I know what it was. It was Iron Monkey, I think. I think it's Iron Monkey. I haven't seen that. You ain't seen Iron Monkey? Mm-hmm. But it's a lady who is a witch doctor, like or a witch that teaches how to.
I'm gonna see a clip and immediately remember what you're talking about.
We'll nerd out over that later. But and it reminds me of that. It's like a very scary, cynical.
So she probably did her research. She probably went and watched stuff like that to get this character.
No, you're right, because she kind of talks like with some of her words are like more drawn out. Like, she talks like I guess what I'm saying, her aura. She doesn't talk like a normal person.
No.
But she's you're very convinced every time she's on screen, she's in charge.
Yeah.
What's his name? Dude, Ishido? Ishido is not in charge anymore. No, it's all her.
Maybe, So I definitely I said the same exact thing.
I was sitting there like, yo, this is like some symbolism.
This is the end of episode 1,000.
Him picking that rock up shows way more than just picking up a rock. He's getting it. He's understanding it.
Yeah.
Oh, homie, man. Episode 6, homie, man. Oh, homie's mad that the white boy is with his little thing. Thing's a prostitute. Ew.
Yeah.
And he stole homie's girl.
It's terrifying. That is all.
I was like, the heir's mother is terrifying. It's terrifying.
But so the only thing John did in this episode, I think, was he slept with the prostitute. But while he was sleeping with the prostitute, he's very clearly thinking and looking at Mariko.
That was in the prostitute. He was like, "So you're not coming in here with us?"
Yeah, when the prostitute was talking about your desires, he was looking directly at her.
And then she like, you like. I do everything. I'm the best in the town. I'm the best on this little island. Like, what's good?
Yeah.
I mean,
that's why the nephew.
The way they were negotiating prices, she better be the best.
She was going smack at both of them. Like,
hey, but you gotta give it up to Toranaga. Not only did he set him up with a consort, this man set his rival's husband away. He said, "You're gonna leave for a week, and this dude is going to smash your wife." like what?
Because he knows.
Hey, Toranaga, he the man, dog. He that's who you want in your corner. He was like, "Yeah, you're gonna go away." And then he's like, "All right, Mariko, you go and you join him and give this man the night time of his life."
You can't be putting your hands on my translator, bro. But she is so much more to him than the translator, and we learned that. Like, this has been the plan this whole time. Like, you've been in my life. You've been you're under my rule this whole time for a reason. Like, this wasn't no.
Can we go back?
You thought this was she thinks, you made me marry this man, or my dad made me marry this man.
Yeah, that's what I want to say.
It's like, no, we had this plan so that I could protect you and you could always be around me. Like, it's cool. Just
in the flashback, she's like, "Why am I marrying this man from this nothing clan?" And then you find out he's like, "Nah, he did it to protect you, so that you're never going to be in danger." Because I think he knew that his father was going to, which is crazy. Why didn't his father marry off his other children? But whatever.
Maybe I don't know if they were of age yet.
Yeah. Of age, and then like she was like his prize, like his joy, his pride. And even that those few little scenes, you could just see the actor did portray the daddy's love so well.
Yeah,
like,
man.
Just he was looking there.
Yeah, I think it was. Yeah, bro. And I think I'm trying to think what else happened outside of the. I do love that in this. It took exactly one episode for Mariko to basically start talking to John again. After she said she was
they were walking and having full conversation. I was like, "You're not translating right now."
Right. And he's like, he even said, "Oh, aren't you going to translate? That's all you're doing, right?" And she was like, "Yeah, all right, Mariko."
I love how
you know what's up, bro.
Is too. Toranaga's like, "What is going on with you with this? What's going on with y'all?"
What's up, man?
Yeah, he's annoyed. He's like, "I don't got time for this." But it's blowing me that he's not giving the translate. He keeps saying, "Send me home. Give me my men." And Toranaga's just like, "Nah." And his solution to everything is give him a woman. Like, bruh, that's not going to make me forget.
But we've learned even recently, we have a good friend that lives in Japan, and it's like, culturally, that's nothing. That's okay. Like, because that's not, you don't have a emotional relationship or a connection with that person.
No, I get that, but
and so he's like, yeah, please, just women. That's okay. That makes everything better.
Yeah, but it doesn't though. Like, after I'm done, I'm gonna be like, bro, I still don't have my ship, I don't have my men, and I'm still in this country that I now hate because you killed my gardener, and I still hate y'all.
Right. So after the best of the best, he was like, "Oh, the gardener." He looks so sad.
Homie with the cul-de-sac on his head. He looks sad.
You heard what
the nephew. Yeah, so right after they was done, the nephew, he was like, "Yo, this man is getting promoted. He's captain of the Navy, and now he has my women." He gonna do something. Him and his uncle gonna do something.
We got at least four more episodes to see how this unfolds.
Jovi, how'd this one end? Because I remember the heir's mother. They get the council together. We finally see the scary dude's the dude behind the curtain. We see his full face. That makeup job is spectacular.
Yeah.
One of the guys denies.
Yes, he gets up and he walks off.
He doesn't want.
Oh yeah, you keep saying that happened. I think that was actually the episode before though.
No. That's when the last episode is when they kill him.
Yeah.
Remember?
Yes, they kill him in his forest.
They kill him because he at the very last minute they take the vote because they finally got the actor dude on.
Oh, you're right.
And they take the vote and he says no, and they kill him.
Yeah. So that's what I want to talk about. So I remember the heir's mom. So I think the episode before they kept voting, and the leopard dude he recommended someone, and so someone else was like, "I'm not voting for that trash," and they're like, "Bro, they're cousins."
Yeah, no, he was like, "I'm not voting
cousins.
He's got syphilis.
He's like, "Yo, do you know they're cousins?" And then the next day, the dude with the leprosy is gone. Then they recommend someone else, and someone's like, "I'm not voting for this dude," and then someone else is gone. So that's when the heir's mother comes in and is like, "Hey, we're dead in this. We're picking someone. We're gonna fix it." Right. So then when they finally get that someone that she picks, they finally have all 5, and the dude says no. The heir's mom is like, "All right, listen, all this voting and politics stuff,
it's over.
We dead in that. We dead in it. Kill him, and then we're gonna go kill Toranaga. She's over it, bruh. She's the real ruler of this show, man. She is. You know what?
And I love that she's I love that she's coming at the last quarter.
And when they meet, it's gonna be something. Your Game of Thrones.
That was already. I mean, the classic kung fu. They was already sparring with each other back in the day. You know they gotta bring them long swords out again.
Yeah.
You know they.
I did like that. Because there was a moment when Mariko was fighting, and I was like, "How does she know how to do this?" But I like
I'm glad they showed. Yeah, she's fully trained.
She was trained.
Yeah.
But I was just saying, like, the queen is basically like she's just like Cersei, bro, from Game of Thrones. Like, so your Game of Thrones comparison was accurate because she is plotting. She might be more manipulative, or no, she's definitely more manipulative than Toranaga.
That's actually a great comparison. That's actually a great comparison because you thought that it was the Dothraki, whatever, the king, Joseph Momoa's character, but it was really Cersei.
You're right.
That's a great comparison.
Yeah, man.
Can't wait.
But yeah, bro. So I think this one they have there's a meeting where they're like, let's do the Crimson Plan, where we just storm Osaka Castle.
Oh yeah, right. And they're like,
and Toranaga's like, that is a stupid plan. Like, I think his son is all for it, and of course, that man treats his son like he clearly doesn't like him, but he's like,
he doesn't. But I feel like he's trying to like train him. I feel like he's giving him that tough love, like, to be like, yo, you can be better, or I'm gonna treat you like shit in front of everybody else. And like he knows all the plans, and he's keeping his mouth shut. He knows about the spy. He knows where the pigeons are being held. Like, I think it's like that again. Once again, we've been saying chess. Like, he's like,
yeah, man,
I'm gonna make you think I think my son is the dumbest human being in the world, but in fact, I am training him to be the next ruler after we figured all this out.
I think that Toranaga is based on Tokugawa, like the actual dude who ends up winning and ruling Japan. I think he's definitely like, I don't know how we're gonna resolve. I don't know how we're gonna resolve this in 4 more episodes, but I'm very excited. I think that something else I wanted to say. Oh yeah. So at the end of this episode, because at first Toranaga's like, we're not doing that plan. But then I forget what changes his mind, and at the end of it,
I literally just watched it. Forgot what
say that again?
It's something that does happen. It's something that makes it like it's no other choice.
There's no other choice. They have to do it. I forget what it is though, because he's like,
I think they tell him that dude got killed. Like, I think it gets to them.
Oh yeah.
That's what it was.
Yeah.
When the 5th member regent got killed, he was like, okay, well, they're breaking the rules now, so
he's like, they're gonna come after me. He's like, they're gonna. Oh yeah, he says it. Literally, thank you. He says they're going to impeach me. So whatever was it? Red what?
Crimson. It was Crimson something.
Crimson Storm.
Crimson Plan.
It's going down.
Yeah, this was a very I think this was a very John Light episode. But that's kind of why I want to wrap this up, yo. Where do you guys, like, through 6 episodes, who has been your favorite character?
Mariko.
Yeah. Easy.
I like her story a lot, bro.
Yeah.
And I might maybe I might be ruffling some feathers, but I really like John, man. Like I really like him.
This is the thing that I really like about the way that they write this show, though, because I feel like the protagonist has evolved episode to episode. Because at one point you might think that it was John initially, and then you start to see a little bit more, and then you're like, oh no, it's Toranaga.
Right.
And then you see a little bit more, and then you think, okay, well maybe it's Toranaga's fief. And then you see that he's like playing both sides, and then you slowly get introduced to Mariko, and you're like, no, this story is about her.
She may be the answer to it all. Yeah.
Right. It's like, this is her redemption. This is about, but they kind of like play up each of these moments so that you feel this like main character connection to multiple people. That's genius.
Yep. Excellent writing. So how many times, Jovi, in all the movies we've watched, we're like, bruh, there's so many characters and we don't care about a lot of them.
Right.
This is how you do it. You make us care, like you just said. There's an episode where I'm like, bruh, I wonder what's going to happen to John. And then somehow I forget about John because I'm so invested in Toranaga. Like, yo, did he survive that earthquake?
Right.
And then it's Mariko, and it's like, bruh, she wants to die. Is she ever going to get out of this? So you're right. It's like you're always thinking about these characters.
What's going on with this nephew and what he's thinking. Like get that. You don't get that in every show. I want to know what that boy is thinking because he is hurt now.
Yeah, he mad.
After he stole his girl, he's like, nah, man.
He's like, nah, you can have my land. You can have a big house.
You can even have
a better title, but you took the
my girl
because my man said he fell in love with her. He was like, I love you.
I love you. She was just like,
she's the best in the business, man.
She
was about to charge Toranaga 500 things, bruh. She was like, Toranaga can't even get a deal because she's so good.
Right. 500, and he's only making 600 for the year.
Yeah, and so. Yeah, she was like, bro, I'm not trying to buy all the tea houses.
Right.
Why is she so expensive?
Hey, bro.
She the best in the business.
She's the best in the business.
What does she do?
All I can think about is Blue Eye Samurai with that mask.
They make it seem like them ancient Japanese brothels were something to behold.
Right. In current Osaka, we can't go to them anymore. They have banned all. Yes, like this is so weird that this is coming out, and you see that. But yeah, foreigners cannot go in Osaka anymore because too much weird stuff was happening. We can't even.
I mean, foreigners are weird. I believe that.
Yeah, we can't even go on the street anymore. Like there's like a district. Like we're not.
The red light district.
Yeah, we're not allowed to go into that foreigners anymore.
Okay, I mean,
yeah.
All right.
So
passport bros got to be mad, bro.
Probably a good time. Exactly. I was about to say, passport bros are going to be very upset that they bought their Japan ticket last year and they're ready to go. And then last month they were like, "No, y'all can't come over here because y'all be doing weird stuff to our women." Terrible. And they already do weird stuff, and you just took it too far, sir.
Yeah, man, that's wild, bro. You know. But hey, so I mean, I think we went through all the episodes. People, if you've been watching, listening in your car, hopefully, or you've been eating snacks and putting us in the background, I hope you did. Let us know what you think of Shogun. What's your favorite episode? Who's your favorite character? I'm really interested in that discussion. Yeah, right, like Joey's pointing right down there in the comments. Please, if you like this, go ahead, hit that little subscribe button and the bell. We are going to start doing these live week to week. You didn't make the sound effect, Joey. There you, thank you, Matt. Thank you, Matt. All right, appreciate it. As always, guys, thank you so much for watching. Till next time, we out. All right, let me end recording, but we can stay in.